I-28F. Let me start by saying that my sister Emily is the kind of person who would never have been caught dead looking at a sale rack, let alone shopping for something on clearance. Growing up, Emily and I were as close as two siblings could be. We lived in a small house, didn't have much, but we made do. My parents worked hard, doing what they could to make sure we had what we needed, even if it meant sacrificing their own wants. Things weren't always easy, but we had each other, and that meant more than anything. But that was before Emily met Daniel. I don't know how to explain it, but after she started dating him, things just shifted. Emily changed, and I mean she changed fast. Daniel's family has money, not just a little bit of money, but old money. We're talking mansions, private jets, luxury vacations, the whole thing. And suddenly, Emily started acting like she was better than us. The worst part? She didn't even try to hide it. At first, it wasn't that noticeable. A few comments here and there about how nice Daniel's family's estate was, how great it was to have options, that kind of thing. She'd throw in a joke about how nice it must be to be able to have the luxury of not worrying about bills. But then it got worse. She started distancing herself from us. When we'd go to family dinners, she'd act like she was too good to be there. And she wasn't even subtle about it. Whenever I'd talk about my job or mention something about life in the real world, she'd look at me with this pitying smile, like she couldn't believe how small my life was compared to hers. Her comments became more cutting. "You're still working at that place? It must be hard for you and Tom to make ends meet, huh?" Daniel and I don't even have to think about those things. I mean, what do you even say to that? I tried to laugh it off at first. Maybe she was just caught up in the excitement of her new life. But the more she acted like this, the more I realized she was serious. It wasn't just some phase, it was who she had become, and it hurt. The tipping point came during a family dinner. I'll never forget it. Emily sat there, casually dropping the line about how she could have gone further in life if she hadn't decided to settle for a job like mine. You know, if you tried harder, you could have had a high-paying job like Daniel's cousins. It's not that hard, really. That's when it hit me. I was furious. But I didn't say anything right away. I just let the words hang in the air. What really made me lose it, though, was the social media post. Emily went on a vacation with Daniel's family, and she posted this picture of her lounging by some infinity pool with a caption that read, "Escaping the real world where some people don't even know what it's like to have options." The post felt like a slap in the face, and I couldn't ignore it. It was one thing to hear her say these things in person, but to read it like that, out in the open for everyone to see, was the final straw. That's when I decided I wasn't going to just let this go anymore. I was going to do something about it. Emily had completely lost touch with who she was before the wealth, and I wasn't about to sit back and let her forget how she got to where she was. So I made a plan. I didn't want to make a scene. I didn't want to get into a huge fight, but I needed her to understand something. Wealth doesn't make you better than everyone else, and it sure as hell doesn't define who you are as a person. I set up a test. I invited her to a family event but asked everyone to dress simply, no designer clothes, no expensive jewelry. I wanted to see if she'd tone herself down or insist on standing out. It wasn't a direct confrontation, but it was a controlled situation designed to make her rethink her choices. For example, I'd casually mention how it's nice to get by without needing labels, or how luxury is great when it's not flaunted. I could see the discomfort on her face, but she'd always try to play it off like it didn't affect her. But things started to escalate. The more I played along, the more I could see how defensive she'd get, how she'd go out of her way to justify her wealth. She started talking about Daniel's business ventures in the most obnoxious ways. "Oh, you wouldn't believe the deal Daniel made on this property," she'd say, as if I even cared. Then there were the passive-aggressive remarks about